Highly possible that we have definitely met before, not once, not twice. I think this is our third or fourth meeting. I think third, I would say. But the difference is
Because
you have a different flag.
difference is no, because I remember your name Shiva because oh that is why another person with the same name because I know Shiva is a god in India. Don't ask about that.
Exactly, exactly. You are right, and I think you spoke to me only because I remember speaking to you two more times prior to connecting today. But the only difference that I see is here that when we got connected, I was a thing popped up on my screen as like I'm speaking to somebody from a different country, like a new country added to a new flag added has been added to my list, and I was like, Paul, I've spoken to you before, but I didn't knew so, is there any reason? Like, have you moved out to a different country altogether or created a new account?
No, I didn't change anything. This is the same flag. I didn't change
Right.
anything. No? I don't have a new account or no. I will
That's
say
great.
your memory doesn't work. This happens sometimes.
And I'll tell you, I don't know, probably Episodian is trying to play with me, but my memory works really, really fine. And that is what is making me kind of intriguing. Like, how come I can go wrong about it? But, at the end,
I- I know that Indian guys are very smart and clever because of mathematics, and the most famous professor at university in the United States are from your country. I'm not surprised that you have a good memory. Yeah, most of people of India have one.
well, I'll tell you, it's a very funny. It's very kind of funny to call myself in that term, like as a sharp-minded person, because when it comes to numbers, obviously Indians are like great at mathematics, and I think yeah, we had contributed a lot in that segment. But when it comes
I
to me, like I was never good with numbers, but somehow again, I
but don't be shy. Don't be shy. But somehow, don't be shy. Somehow, some circumstances in different country leads that people on those country are more how can I say they think faster than other people one of because of different reasons and and India is famous for the mathematics and how people in IT, artificial intelligence, computer science, mathematics. Indian is the number. Not India as a country. People of your country are very famous because of that.
I'm glad. I'm glad somebody is kind of acknowledging the potential of our people of our country, and it's good. It's good to see that. Thank you so much. I
Yes.
appreciate your words.
No, you don't need to say thank you. That is all it is reality and the truth. They're very clever people from India. I'm always surprised, impressed about the level of intelligence. But it doesn't matter now. We want to talk about something else, if you don't mind.
I mean, go shoot it. Anything.
Tell me a little about the city where you are living. Which is the city and how it looks like.
Well, I'll tell you. So, I am from a different town altogether, but if I have to tell you the city of my, like the capital of my state, or at least you would know, I'm from
Ah,
Calcutta. Calcutta is used to
yeah.
be one of the capital of India in the 40s,
Mm-hmm.
and I think when Britishers actually started colonizing India, right? So
Mm-hmm.
our city, like Calcutta, that I'm talking about, is one of the city where the Britishers have really established a whole colony altogether. When I say colony, I mean a complete society. Till date, our city is the only city in India where the architecture, there's a big area, the entire architecture is absolutely like you would find yourself like you are in, probably in London or Paris. Though we
Oh,
haven't, the
wow.
government haven't been able to manage the architecture the way it was supposed to be as an old heritage. It's now, being used. Those entire place have is being used for commercial businesses and everything. We have got shops, all kinds of shops, happening over there. But it could have been one of the best heritage that the government could have taken care of to make it as a monument.
Yes, yes. I now I remember I have watched a video about the rail station around the world, and you have one of the
Exactly.
most beautiful city in the English style. You are completely right. I was very impressed about the building and the
Right.
hall, and then of course the train.
I
Yes,
mean, in India,
indeed.
the
Oh.
so you remember like trams, we call like trams, the road trains, right? That we have like in London,
Mm-hmm.
Paris. So in India, our city is the only city which has got the trams, like the road trains. Back in the 40s, the I mean, the level of, the establishment that these Britishers did, you can understand. They have, created road trains, railway tracks in the middle of the city, completely, establishing themselves. And they were operating then the rest of the India, from our city. So, yeah.
But okay, okay, but don't worry about that. So, as I see the time is running out, we will disappear in a few seconds. Have so many questions, and you tell me
No, no, I
this is
mean,
different.
don't worry. I mean, unless if you want to extend the conversation, you will have
Oh,
plenty of
okay.
time.
Oh, thank you. But I always experience on this platform that I have watched some video about X country, and then
Right,
I meet people from those country, and I get
right,
a totally different point of view. Because one thing is that I see from abroad, from
right.
outside, what the media show me on what they think they show me, but the reality is always a little more wide,
Yeah. I mean,
complicated, or diverse. Hmm, yeah. But that is in your experience. Is this always? I have only watched one video about the trains in India. That is always so crowded all the time, or is not at some time of the day?
so I'll tell you. So it is always crowded in some part of the some cities in India, which are like, again, if I talk about Mumbai, Mumbai is one of the city
Yeah.
and one of the IT
Mhm.
hubs. Okay, like one of the, I mean, one of the busiest and the most richest city in, in the entire India. So we have got like really busy schedule over there, and I think it's almost every time, like early mornings
Mhm.
when it's time to go to the office, and then the late evenings, when it's time to come back home. So it's very crowded. And when it comes to railway, if I talk about, okay, so
Mhm.
railway transport is one of the major way of transport in India, like
Mhm.
compared to a road
Mhm.
transport or like air transport. Water transport, I don't think we do much in India, apart from few places in the coastal areas. But yeah, railways is, one of the biggest industry in India, and the one of the major way of, transporting people. My dad is into the railway personally, as a, into the government in some department.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's how it works.
Uh, yeah, but in when you watch those videos from
Right,
outside, it's like an adventure. Oh my goodness, how does it feel to be there in the middle of the crowd, pressed with
right,
other
right.
people around you?
It's
It
crazy.
maybe
It's
it's not a
crazy, and
funny.
I'll tell you,
Mhm.
I did got a job in Mumbai. I mean, see, obviously, you having a getting a job in Mumbai, because the city that we live in, like, or the town that I come from, is not very developed in terms of economy or like that. So obviously, people from our town go to places like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore.
Mhm.
These are the cities where there are a lot of opportunities to get a job and everything. Because of the train, because of the situations of these trains that I was also aware of in Mumbai, I actually declined a lot of jobs over there. And I always took it as a motivation for me, I'll tell you personally. I mean, like, it was always there. So I had like such a traumatic experience, like, thought in my mind that if I don't work really hard, I will be left with no other option but to go to Mumbai and like work in this way. So I've always took it as a fuel, towards my career, and I was like, let's work that hard enough that I never had to
mm,
come into that situation to travel from train, from and like this and that crowded. So whenever I feel more demotivated and like less energetic, I watch those kind of struggling videos to make me realize that I'm lucky enough to have all the resources available to me, and
mm.
start working. So yeah.
Uh, okay, there's a long conversation about what we like, what we dislike, and how can we change it. Sometimes it's up us. Sometimes it depends on the government and the politics that the government
Exactly.
are conducting. And there's a very complicated issue sometimes to understand what happened, the history, the background, on a lot of different things. But
Right.
it's always interesting. And what I like most from your country, from outside. There are people who like India, and there are people who don't dislike India. I don't know why in between it doesn't exist anyone. You like your country or you dislike your country. And in my case, my family don't like India. I like India. And
I love India.
because I was always fascinated when I watched some videos or I read some books about your country, the story, the background, uh, this combination from different nation in one nation. They have no idea how many
Exactly.
nations you are living together. Sometimes talking in Hindi, sometimes talking in English. My God, this is a crazy country, isn't it?
It is. It is. I mean, see, I'll not go with why I like it or why I dislike it, but as a citizen of my country, I really love my country, and I think it is the best country to live in. I mean, I'll tell you, uh, the people of our country itself, like earlier, there used to be this thing that people from the rich background of our country, like people from the good families who had like good education and everything, so after they having their higher education, they used to travel abroad for their career advancements and everything, right?
Hmm?
It is thanks to the current government that we have, like our prime minister. I'm very fond of him,
Hmm?
and I don't know how much you know about our existing prime minister of India, like in terms of leaderships and everything. So in the
Yes, he's
past
a famous
decade,
one. He's a famous one.
in the past decade, because of his ruling government, things have really changed, and now people has got a chance to see the reality and everything, and now they understood
Hmm.
because of the Russia Ukraine war and the things that has happened with the US or ongoing issues with the US and everything, and the way the Indians have been treated in the other parts of the world and everything. I think now they realized that staying in your country and helping it develop with the knowledge and everything could have been far more better than going out there and developing somebody else's economy.
Hmm.
So I personally believe like staying in my country, developing things, developing myself, my lifestyle and everything, and then probably go out there, like financially independent and then enjoying life. So I think, yeah, I love my country, and whatever I'm going to do in terms of my career for the rest of my life, it will be in this country.
Yes, indeed. Maybe in the last 20 years, your country changed a lot about to open to the world. Before was very closed,
Exactly.
like the old China, and you started to open, but it's means a lot of challenge for your own country. For example, in the food industry, you
Exactly.
protect a lot of your food industry because so many people work on the countryside, and if you open the the boundary to get food from other country, it will be a disaster for the local population. Imagine
Exactly.
you started to get the wheat from Canada or from Russia and the fruits from Chile, and you can compete with them. No, you are not able to compete with them.
So I'll tell you. I mean, see, we can compete on anything. I mean, so what I feel as an Indian is that you drop me in any corner of any country, I'll make a living out of it. So you understand my point, what
Mhm.
I'm trying to say. So it depends.
Mhm.
Again, as a person to person, not a country to country. I mean, at least what I feel,
Yeah.
or at least what I know, the people of my country, the ones are like who are like really smart. They are like, we have got good surviving skills, is what I would say. I mean, that is something that I love about my country, or at least the person that I've spoken with.
Yeah, yes. Okay, okay. Good.
I mean, apart from India, I think South
Well, let
Africans have
good,
got,
good. Let me.
yeah,
Sorry, but let me tell you something. Chile is the only country in South America, the only country that in 1978,
right,
76 changed the economy from a very closed economy like you used to have,
right,
controlled by the state, to a totally open economy. Now, after 30 years, we are a very rich country now. But at the
exactly.
beginning, it was hard. It's very
It
hard,
is, it is
hard to start to compete with other countries. And now, of course, we develop as you want to do in India, our own workforces, our own technology, and
a
now
lot
we
of
can
other
compete with the
things.
United States, with Russia, and so on. But the beginning is always hard.
Yeah, I mean, see, I always take example. I mean, I don't think any country had gone through with a phase like Singapore. Like, I don't know if you know the history of the country called
Mhm, mhm,
Singapore, right?
mhm,
I'm not able to
mhm,
recall the prime minister, the very first prime minister of Singapore, but it was a nice guy. And if at all I take a leadership, if I see somebody as an ideal to run a nation, and taking a nation right from scratch, like right from nothing to
mhm,
one of the leading industry, one of the country which is open for any business. And I think the most
mhm,
valuable passport or somebody can have is the
mhm.
Singapore passport, which is,
The Singaporean, yeah, yes, yes, yes.
yeah, which is where
You're
you get
completely
access
right.
to like countries, like total 195 countries in the world. So taking a country where you did not had food to eat to
Mm,
this level where you are open to any businesses in the world, you have got the world's most valuable passports and everything. So, and it has all became with one person, that one person. And I was just reading a documentary and kind of watching a podcast of this person. And what did he make sure that
mhm,
even India is also lacking behind till date. And I think we need
mm,
to,
mm,
as a nation or as a government, we need to take him as an ideal and do a case study and follow his things to an extent where he made sure that the government officials, like the leaders into the government, are
mhm,
being paid enough that they are not being greedy about it. I mean, he made
mhm,
sure that our government officials within themselves are being equally treated, are being paid equally. Financially, they
mhm,
are
mhm,
so independent that they are working
mhm,
towards the nation, not, they never work against the nation because of lack of financial independency or like lack of wealth,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
I mean,
Yes.
a person or a government official or you or me, anything we will do against our country, the only two things: either you have a certain grudge over your country, like some negative grudge over your country, or probably it will be that financial reason that you would do something against your
Mhm,
country. But if your country, if
mm,
your government is taking care of your financial things, if your lifestyle, I mean, I don't think any citizen would ever
mm,
would dare to go against their government, against their country, right? And running a
mhm.
nation, I think Singapore's history is the best story for somebody as a leadership role, you know the
Yes, yes, of course. But at the same time, and let me say something before I continue. I think your government is on the right path, and
at this
is
point it is.
fostering the reformation of your country, open the economy. And I think is the right path that you're doing. But it's doing it a little slowly, slowly
Exactly.
compared, because have you a lot of issue inside the country. And look not only on Indonesia. What happened now in Indonesia? It's a lot of riots, or people are go on the
Right.
street because they think people there think the government doesn't do enough, or is
Exactly.
only uh, concerned with their own business, or that is another
Mm-hmm.
very difficult point, corruption. Corruption, and how you
Right.
manage to control corruption in your own country. In Singapore was very easy. If I got you doing corruption, I kill you. And that was
Exactly.
no space for corruption. But I don't know how you manage in your country corruption.
See, I'll tell you, corruption actually is a grease of an economy. Okay, of a growing economy.
Hmm.
I'll tell you. I mean, without corruption, you actually cannot run an economy. At least what I see in our country. If there is no corruption, a poor country with a population of like 1.5 billion is impossible to run a country with such a population without corruption. I mean, can you imagine? Like, it will take a huge. I mean, it is impossible for me. I think it is impossible to run a nation without corruption of 1.5 billion. But what I say, or like obviously, hats off to our existing government. I mean, if I'll tell you, all our neighboring countries, like right from Pakistan to Afghanistan to Nepal to Bangladesh to Myanmar to Sri Lanka, these are like right from the very top to the bottom. All these countries, the government has been demolished by the citizens. I mean, they went crazy. If you do the research in the internet, I don't know if you know the condition of Nepal right now as a country. The people have gone
Yes, yes,
crazy
I have
over
watched
there.
it. Mm,
So this is the prime time where we realized what our government is doing and how strong it is with their principles, with their work, and we have been standing good. So
look, you can explain as long as you wish why corruption exists in your country or not, as you control it. But in my case, I am an economist. Corruption is like a tax to pay taxes. You have an extra tax because you have to pay for it, and that
exactly.
makes everything more expensive because it's not only a value added tax. It's not only about income tax. You have something else has corruption and you have to pay for it. And makes everything more expensive.
Right.
On there are some experience around the world how it's possible not to destroy totally corruption, but to diminish it,
Yeah.
to make it less important in the country. And one is the reforms that your country are doing now, finance reform, bank reform. You make the economy more open. Don't forget you have a big country close to you, China. Wow, that is a corruption. That's a lot of corruption in China. It's terrible. It's terrible. I've never seen so much corruption like in China, but never one talk about that. But in your country, you are open the economy. Your prime minister is doing very well, is very famous around the world, and try to control the different issues that you have. That is why I want to go to visit your country. It's a wonderful one.
Absolutely, absolutely, Paul. You are always welcome to the best of the experiences you can explore in India. We always
And
welcome
talk
you.
with people like you and know more about the country, what happened there, what are you doing, how you face and address different challenges, and so on and so on. So, Shiva, thank you very much for your time and for sharing that with me. It was a
Absolutely,
pleasure
Paul.
for
It
me.
was a pleasure speaking with you as well. Take care.